So you can see behind me, we are actually in front of the Golden Bridge. There are so many monkeys. They're hanging out on the car. Hello and welcome back to Nick Geo. This is the second video in a series of cities I spent some time in during my trip to Vietnam, and today specifically we're going to take a look at Da Nang, which I had a couple of days in. Today we'll technically kick off the Da Nang portion of the Vietnam trip, even though we are in Hanoi right now, as I was kindly reminded of. We will be headed to Da Nang in a few hours. So I start with nothing more than Vietnamese Burger King. Look at that. Looks very different than what we have home in the US. Finally made it to Da Nang, and as you can see, this is a far nicer place than the last one, which is kind of what was to be expected. However, this one's actually cozy. It has a mini split, nicer bathroom, a full fridge, kitchen, gigantic bed and couch, and most importantly, a patio, baby. Oh, wrap around. First stop for the day is Ba Na Hills, but we are waiting on one of my friends who is a little late to join us to go up to the hills. So in the meantime, I'm gonna have my first beer from Vietnam. As someone I know very well once said, that's some good beer. Da Nang is the fourth largest city in Vietnam with a population of over 3 million, and it's located along the coast of the South China Sea in what is known as Central Vietnam. This is actually the narrowest part of the country, and it's surrounded in the backdrop by the Trong Son Mountains. The whole city is bisected by the Han River, with a primarily tropical monsoon climate with 2 seasons. Its airport was once an airbase used by the United States, and this was located just below the former DMZ. And it's situated about halfway between Hanoi and Ho Chi Minh City. Introduce our friend Jet, joining us for today's trips, probably the Da Nang leg as a whole. We are on our way to Ba Na Hills as we speak. Here we got it. We made it to the entrance, and right there is the cable car. Pretty damn exciting. Also, apparently Jet thinks that it's weird that I had beer for breakfast. Is that an American thing? Is that strange for other people to do on vacation? I thought it was perfectly legitimate. What about you, Zach? Nah. Sun World at Ba Na Hills is open from 7 a.m. until 10 p.m. daily, and you'll definitely need a minimum of half a day to cover all the ground up there. There are 3 different levels, all of which are accessed with different cable cars, and your ticket is good for all of them. Going up. Oh my god. Oh wow, it's fast. Wow. It's like really fast. Woo. I did not expect it to be that fast. No, but I'm not complaining. And just when we thought we were all at the top, there's a whole nother area to go. In the days of French occupation, this was a resort popular for their holidays before it was developed into the theme park that it is now. The cable car gives 360 views of the mountains around you, and on a clear day you can actually see Da Nang and all the way out to the sea. Oh, an arcade! Oh, a dragon! Oh, a knight! Yeah, okay, this is absolutely beautiful. Between the waterfalls, the architecture, the giant sculpture. Looks like we made it to the top of the Lunar Castle area, and I think we can actually go inside, if my memory serves me correctly. The Lunar Castle itself is fantasy themed, representing what is known as the Moon Kingdom, with Gothic tinted architecture, and it includes some 4D cinemas on the inside that I was not able to take any footage of. In many ways, Ba Na Hills has similar vibes to that of a Disney theme park. All the balconies that overlook the hills may be some of my favorite parts. Upon reaching the top, you'll be surrounded with French architecture meant to reflect what a medieval French village may have looked like. This includes cobblestone streets, a cathedral, archways, and the likes. You'll find all sorts of cafes as well as a buffet, and that's included in some of the ticket packages. Inside the castle is actually a bunch of games, some carnival style ones. Got some of these claw machines, and actually just some souvenirs. Oh, and there's the giant moon that we saw downstairs. That's freaking sweet. Hey, let's try to race up the escalators. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not going to do that. Yep, we were down here earlier. Yeah, didn't you see the moon when we walked in? I wonder if I touch something over here, if I'll be like, just kidding. Nope, I can't do that. Nah, I'm good. I'll pass. And then we get to the Golden Bridge. I am enjoying myself a Ba Na Hills special lager. Oh, I can smell the hops from here. That's strong. So you can see behind me, we are actually in front of the Golden Bridge. It's a really good thing that there's those two giant hands holding the bridge up. Otherwise, that bridge would probably fall down and those people wouldn't know what to do. It's a little crowded up here. The Golden Bridge is Vietnam's most famous bridge, which has been imitated around the world. It's 150 kilometers in length and depicts two giant stone hands holding it in place. However, these are actually just made of fiberglass and wire mesh meant to reflect stone. This will connect the gardens with the cable car station, and it gives a pretty gorgeous scenic overlook. Construction of this was only completed in 2018, taking about a year, designed under the Ho Chi Minh University of Architecture. Understandably, it does get packed, so if you want to avoid the crowds, you want to go early. When I stand up on Golden Bridge, I feel like I'm standing on top of a mountain with the wind blowing through my hair! What is this, the Netherlands? Huh? It looks like the Netherlands. The Jardin des Amours includes 9 gardens total. This also has a maze, a gigantic chessboard, and probably some of the most picturesque and colorful parts of Ba Na Hills. It slowly descends downward to get to the more spiritual side of the park, which feels far less French and far more authentic to Vietnam. Yes, all of these things are included in the ticket price at the beginning. All of this costs roughly $40 per ticket, depending on where you secure those, which, by Vietnam standards, is on the pricier side. That translates to nearly 1 million Vietnamese dong.
No, I was told without PAN card. If you want to give with PAN card, then you can give more. Okay.
Da Nang has several Linh Ung pagodas, and one of them is in Ba Na Hills. It tends to be less busy than the gardens or the Golden Bridge at the lowest level of its section. The Buddha statue is very large, sitting on a 5-meter circular base with a height of 27 meters. Nearby you will also find the Linh Phung Zen Monastery, as well as the Holy Mother Shrine. Vietnam as a whole is very much known for spiritual structures like this sitting high in the mountaintops. Looks like we're at the last unexplored area for us. And it's got some cool tunes. So we were gonna hit that roller coaster, but after, stuffing myself with a lethal amount of food at that buffet, eating like an American, truly gross out everyone around me. But it costs extra to get on that roller coaster, and I don't think any of us feel like we need to. So I think we're gonna bookend this part of Da Nang for now. Time to kick off nighttime as the first full real night in Da Nang. And man, there are a lot of really cool light up things to see out here, particularly the Dragon Bridge. And the view from out here where we are right now is absolutely spectacular. Get a good look at that skyline across in the water of Da Nang. Up close and personal to it. Yeah, it's just as you'd expect, it's way bigger once you're right up next to this thing. Here's another nice view of the water we're about to cross. Other side of Da Nang. On the weekends, which we unfortunately were not here for, the Dragon Bridge will breathe fire, but it's still such a spectacle on its own. This straddles the Han River at 666 meters long, and it was designed in the mid-2000s before construction began in 2009. It opened in 2013 and connects the downtown area to the beaches as well as where the airport is located. This was inspired by images of the Li Dynasty dragon that swoops through the sea. We now make our way to the other side. The Da Nang Cathedral. Why the GPS took us around the back way and not up here in the front, I'll never know, but it is quite a spectacle nonetheless. Also known as the Pink Church, the Da Nang Cathedral is extremely visually appealing because of said pink hues and its unique architectural design. It's got a massive bell tower reminiscent of the French style and was indeed built during the occupation, finished in 1923. Despite being built in the Western style, one can see some Vietnamese features at a closer look. Because of its central location, it's quite easy to reach via the downtown area. And the final stop for the first part of the Da Nang leg is the Da Nang Night Market. A lot of really tasty things to get out here, as you can see. Wow, actually there's like deeper layers than I even realized. Now, night markets are a popular feature in any Vietnamese city of this size, and the most notable one was conveniently close to our Airbnb, as well as the Dragon Bridge. The Son Tra market is open from about 5:30 p.m. until midnight every night, and it has everything from seafoods, smoothies, meats, vegetables, and beer, to commodities like collectibles, clothes, artifacts, and other knickknacks that people are selling. Surrounding this is also a pretty decent bar scene, which we spent some time in our final night in Da Nang. Close things out doing one of my absolute favorite things, people watching with some smoothies. Cheers, guys. So the next city that we will be hitting is known as Hue. Obviously the Da Nang video will continue one day, well, I guess tomorrow morning once we get back here. Hue will have its own video. Oh yeah, and I found another energy drink. It's very tasty. Warrior. So after spending one day in Hue, we are back in Da Nang for our final day here. We will be starting off with the Linh Un Pagoda. We have our driver driving us around from the other day, same one, who took us to the Ba Na Hills, and then we have several stops after that. So we got a long day ahead of us. Out in the distance, you can actually see the Linh Un Pagoda, which is exactly where we're headed on that peninsula, but take a look at these beaches right here. They actually look gorgeous. Though we didn't spend any time on the actual beach, we did stroll past Mai Khe Beach, likely one of the most popular ones from the city. Traveling up to the pagoda alone was rather neat, going through some windy hills to get to the top, and it's got pretty vast amounts of area to explore. Apparently this is twice as tall as Christ the Redeemer in Rio. And now that I'm up close, I can totally see that. Kind of towers above everything. Imagine you can get a very good view out by the water. Now obviously this is one of the most spiritually significant sites in the country, and if I had to go back and spend more time somewhere, this would definitely be it. You may recall this also being the name of the pagoda that we saw in Ba Na Hills, as there are 3 total in Da Nang. This peninsula is known as Son Tra, like the night market, and it's located about 10 kilometers from the city center. Now this also has some local mythology to it. During the reign of Emperor Minh Mang under the Nguyen dynasty, a Buddha statue drifted to the sea bank. A local fisherman built a shrine to worship, and since then the sea waves have become calmer, making it easier for people to fish. And check it out, it's apparently common to see monkeys here, and you can see two of them. One far in the background and one that just went right here behind the trash can. There he goes.
Look at this one. Oh, yeah.
Yep, eating the trash. Now this is a pretty sweet shot too. Behind this part of the temple, you can actually see Da Nang in the background over the water in which we just drove around. Really, this entire peninsula is pretty sweet, and if you turn right around right here, there is the Lady Buddha in all of her glory. Suppose we'll go down here and check out some more areas. This might be the best view of Da Nang we've seen so far. Look at all the boats out there. Like there's more to the temple right here on this side. Another dragon. The entire area covers about 20 hectares, with lots of complex buildings that include the main hall, Ancestors' House, the lecture hall, the library, a cafeteria, and the Arat statue garden. The combo of traditional and contemporary Vietnamese style within this setting really made it one of the most relaxing areas to just hang around in. There are so many monkeys. They're hanging out on the car. Oh boy, getting a little close. About had it with these mosquitoes. This is the last section of the full area. There's a sleeping Buddha over here, right in front of the main pagoda tower. Wrapping things up here, we decided next we'd be headed to Marble Mountain with the same driver we used for this whole leg escorting us next. We did make it to Marble Mountain. This is going to be a very arduous hike based off of, well, one, how it feels right now at the bottom, and two, what she told us. But there are a lot of really cool sights once we get to the top of this that we're going to check out now. Marble Mountain is named as such due to quite literally what it's made out of, and all of the steps and trails to get to the top are carved out of solid stone, making for a very steep hike. This is on the city's outskirts, being a natural and spiritual wonder, and it's one of the 5 limestone peaks found in this area. Included is also a large network of caves, several of which we checked out, and of course there are towers and pagodas primarily built by the Mahayana Buddhists and the Nguyen Dynasty kings. Lots of fauna and vines accompany this hike, and it does get rather hot, however the inside of the caves make a nice stop to cool down. Some of these were once hideouts and a field hospital for Vietnamese revolutionaries. This is open from 7 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. daily, and you'll want roughly 2 hours for it. And here it is, we've made it to the very top. You can pretty much see all of Da Nang and actually part of Hoi An from way up here. Over there's another section of the mountain. It's actually pretty dark in here. Oh, it goes even further. And this will be the last area before we make our way out. There is one other cave at the very bottom that seems to be separate from the rest of this that we're gonna potentially check out once we get to the end. Gonna walk down some stairs and we'll get there pretty quickly. Overall, I think today has been one of my favorites for how much we've gotten to squeeze in today for such a good price. Before it got dark, we wanted to head towards the coconut forest. Last big stop before Hoi An is to take a little tour through the bamboo, oh no, sorry, not bamboo, the coconut forest. There's a lot of people out here. It's a boat tour, as you can see. We have a guide for everything. Okay, now I feel like I'm getting the real experience. Keeping the sun out of my face the way the locals do. Namdan Coconut Forest is actually located in Hoi An, which we spent the evening in, and it made for a perfect stop before checking out Hoi An and getting some dinner. You could also pay a little extra to go for a slightly more wild ride. The last thing for today is to walk down the historic part of Hoi An. It's kind of a small, I don't want to call it a suburb of Da Nang, but it's very close, roughly 40 minutes, but smaller and I think a little more low-key. But the old town definitely looks pretty sweet, so we'll get a little bit of footage of that. And we're going to cap off the Da Nang leg of the trip then. Hoi An is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, a preserved trading port that was very important between the 15th and 19th centuries. It's heavily characterized by its yellow merchant houses with lanterns lighting the streets and architectural styles that blend European, Japanese, and Chinese under a distinct local flair. It's completely walkable, situated along the Tuban River, and at nighttime the lit up areas give a very serene feel along the water. Okay, that is hilarious. The KFC Kim Jong-un shirt there, that is really tempting to buy. I need to have discipline here and not do that. Well, I got barbecue fried octopus leg. Well, tentacle. Oh, it's really rubbery. And thus concludes the entire leg of the Da Nang part of this trip. Right now we're at the airport headed to Hanoi, so stay tuned and check out that one.